it's a market that I don't think we've ever really got to hit too often.
Right. I think last time you guys played Indianapolis, I think was 2018, 2019 or something.
A while back.
Down in the basement of the old National Center.
Yeah.
I was there for that one.
Yeah. So. Who was on that one? Was that?
Oh God.
The funeral portrait was on that one.
Yes, that was right after incarceration.
Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Man, just not too long before things went crazy.
Yeah.
But you guys are out right now, and I feel like this is one of the first really traditional headline runs you guys have been able to have.
Yeah.
Since after everything kind of reset. You guys were out, 2021? Mm-hmm. Because I saw you guys up in Piers and Fort Wayne.
Yep.
So,
yep.
But it feels different this time around with this tour.
Everything right now for this feels different. I mean, last year we did do our headliner. The Word Alive was also on it back last year, so we're kind of just like, we're joking that this is becoming a tradition. For the last 3 years, myself, Telly, Zach, and Squid in front of house, we have been together at the end of the year. So it's been kind of a tradition now for MASH. This is kind of bringing in that tradition with the Word Alive as well, which is super cool. But yeah, I mean, even compared to last year's headliner that we did, this just feels totally different. There's a movement that's happening. There's an energy that's shifting. And there's a lot of people looking at it going, oh, how was their first show? When we saw some of the reposts and people talking about it, how was their first show as their first headliner ever? And there's the diehards, of course, that are like, this isn't their first one.
Right.
But to the masses, it feels like it's being perceived differently than everything else was before.
Why do you think?
Super cool.
Why do you think that is?
I just think because of just the trajectory of after the last record and now this record and the way that we kind of set up this year, coming off of Shinedown, then going into Motionless in White in this moment co-headliner, now doing this headliner. This whole year has been set up at a much larger scale with all the festivals in between. We did the Bullet stuff as well. Everything appears to be way larger than everything else that we've ever done before, and we've done some pretty cool things. But to tie it in with this new record and what that's doing as well, social media has been booming. A lot more people hopping in, getting involved. They're starting to just kind of pay it a little bit more attention,
right?
And stuff like that. So I think that it's just like a conglomerate of everything that's just compiling together and just making everybody be like, now there's something happening there,
right?
Yeah.
And you guys are out right now. Word Alive, Catch Your Breath, Echo.
Mm-hmm.
Am I pronouncing that one right?
Yeah,
Echo.
Echo.
Different feel because especially Catch Your Breath and Word Alive. Those two are really blowing up on Octane right now. New music, new singles doing really well. Blackout is out. Mm-hmm. How is the atmosphere behind the scenes on this tour?
It's great. I mean, this is our fifth show.
Yep. About a week ago tonight it started. I think.
So this is the fifth show of the tour. So we're really just at the beginning of this thing, and this is not too long of a tour by any means, but I mean most of our crew as well has been with us for a while. So we're just kind of like hopping right back into how things have been, so that kind of transparent to the rest of the bands. We're live, like I said, we've done stuff last year, so we work really well together. Behind the scenes of everything, that works really well. With Catch Your Breath being kind of an up-and-coming band, it's really cool to see what's going on with them. The Word Alive, obviously, just putting out a new record and everything that's happening with them as well is super cool. Bringing Echo involved into it and having that more of a hip-hop sort of pop culture-esque to what we do as From Ashes. The blend of everything behind the scenes and even just on stage is the way we kind of built this was all the support bands that are on this tour kind of, in a way, remind us of ourselves and are evolving kind of the same way that we either saw ourselves happen or style-wise, it blends together to kind of showcase every part of what From Ashes New is, and I think that it translates to the crowd really well, and it translates for the show. So in every aspect from the start to the finish, the fans are getting exactly what they would like, and it's just this nice blend of everything.
The new record, what I love, and you guys are one of my favorite bands. Every time you release a record, loved every album so far. This record is very different than anything you guys have released, and it's been that way every time. But I'm peeking at the set list. This set list is a lot of new music. Looks like almost 80% of the set list is from Blackout.
There's definitely a lot of newer songs for sure. And kind of to go back to what we were saying with everything that's happening and everybody looking at us differently, I think it's because Blackout really is sticking out to people. It's really relating in a lot of ways to what people want to hear. And for us, we realized, we went back to our sound, our original sound, what made this band what the band was. And this record is technically a prequel to our first record, Day One.
Really?
Yeah, it's the way we kind of set it up. And it's funny because we didn't mean for it to intend the way that it has, but Day One came out. Then we did The Future, and then we did Panic. So in the timeline of what life kind of happened up until 2021, it was like this new world. Day One, the message on that was more positive, things like that. The Future was kind of looking ahead, and then Panic was when the world was crashing.
Right.
And so now we're doing a prequel, Blackout. So it was kind of this essence of this timeline is stylistically we went back to the roots of what made us musicians, what we like as fans within this genre, because we're big fans of the genre first and foremost, but also what made this band what it is and what took this band off. We tried a lot of different things along the way between Panic and The Future, that we were trying to evolve things, and we realized that at the same time we were trying to expand our horizons, that we were losing a little bit of touch of what really made us the musicians that we were. So we honed back in, really worked on ourselves, worked on our craft, and went back to that. And this became the prequel to it, so it kind of sets it up. So style-wise, it's setting everything up, but also for the art purposes, because we get real deep with a lot of that stuff as well. It kind of sets up this really cool timeline. So for the next record, it's setting up this nice little effect to become this huge piece that all timelines together. But yeah, we really just wanted to go back to what we were as musicians, writers, fans, everything, and just really hone in on that. And I think that because it's the most genuine approach of a record that we've done between the four of us since the start of this new lineup, which we consider this the lineup. This is what it should have always been. There was only one record that ever came out without the four of us on it. We consider this to be what the band is always meant to be, and that's why the set list kind of is showing a lot of the newer songs, because I feel like what's on this set list is what's translating the most to everybody. It resonates, and everybody feels it, and we feel it when we're on stage.
Well, and you talked about going to your guys' roots, what each of you individually really fell in love with musically. There's a lot of rhythm-heavy songs on this album, and I can't imagine how much fun, especially for you, being the drummer, and then with Matt with his style, songs like Monster in Me, Heartache. How much fun those songs along those lines must be for you guys to have recorded, but also to play live.
Live is cool. I mean, recording is also a different beast in its own. Live is cool. I mean, you have that anxiety and those jitters behind it. You get to push through some of that stuff, or maybe you're cramping a little bit, for me at least, as a drummer and everything. But it's really fun. Like, I grew up playing a lot of hip-hop and things like that. That was my first. And same with Matt. He was more of a hip-hop guy before we were really into rock. And to mix both worlds, the heavy with the hip-hop, Monster Me being literally a song that is heavy-based hip-hop and heavy breakdown of like what the chorus would be and everything. So it's cool. So you get to just like really get into this character and kind of just get in the mix of it and just lose myself a little bit. But it's cool. I get to play these nice grooves and just let that side out of it. But then also I just get to beat the shit out of my cymbals and try not to crack them. It's so cold out. I've cracked 3 cymbals already on this one. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, you guys are hitting all the northern cold states on this one, it seems like.
Yeah. You would think that we'd go out west and down south and stay away from the cold.
I just talked to Elias from Nonpoint about the same thing. They went in the south in the springtime and the north in the winter. I'm like, you guys...
Yeah, flip-flop.
What'd you do?
Yeah, you should go the other way. Yeah, we should.
I gotta ask, the Mariah Carey cover, doing it live?
It's a surprise, maybe.
Okay.
Depends. It all depends.
You guys released 2 covers already of Thriller.
Yeah.
And then the Mariah... I don't know why I'm drawing a blank in the name of that song.
All I For Christmas?
Yes. It's everywhere. I don't know why I'm blanking the name of that song.
We did that one last year, and it was doing really, really well. And then we started posting about it again because, it's that time of the year.
Right.
And we watch, and the fans have just blown it up again.
Right.
We didn't even put anything behind it. When we first did it, obviously it was a newer song. We pushed it a little bit. We were, talking about it. We just kind of posted it up again, and the fans took it and ran with it. So it's like, okay, we have incorporated it into a couple of the sets.
Okay.
We'll feel out the crowds.
Right.
If the crowds are giving the energy, then we usually
like
toss it in there. The Thriller one was a whole Danny thing. Half of us didn't even know what was going on. We just saw it pop up. We're like, oh, I guess he's doing a thing. So that that band had reached out to him and asked him to feature on the cover, and so he did that. Or I guess it was a cover. So he featured on that one and dropped it on there. So it's a cool little thing.
Right. Looking back at the final project, Blackout, what does it mean to you as one of the members that really played a big role in putting this record together? And what does it mean to you as one of the artists?
Personally, this is by far, I think, the best musical pieces of work all of us have done, but for myself, we have done, I have done, or I've been a part of. I've been a part of a couple different records now, between From Ashes and some other things. And this is the most proud that I've been of a collective amount of songs, or an entire album. Each one has its own little story, but they all fit so well into each other. There's a variety of sound and genre within the album, but again, it all fits together. We have some of our poppiest style song, like Barely Breathing or Hate Me Too, and it goes to Until We Break and Monster and Me, which is some of the heavier stuff with the heaviest hip hop. Yeah,
Nightmare's heavy as. Yeah. Actually, that's my alarm in the morning. It wakes me up every day.
That's so sick. I love that. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I look at it and this is the most proud. For myself, listening back to this record as many times as I have, between mixes, trying to fix parts when we were writing and recording it, and listening to the after when it was all mixed and mastered, I don't get sick of it. I don't get bored of it.
It says a lot.
I don't listen to things and go, we should have done that better. There was a lot of times, I think, in the past when you're working on music or anything, even if you're an artist in any way, you go, I could have done that a little bit better. There's things that we know that we'll improve on and get better for the next one. We always plan to make a better record the next time. Everybody does.
Right.
But there's something very, very special about this one that's just undeniably hit our soul. And I think that it is because that we took a good look at ourselves and went into this process trying to say, who are we as musicians and who are we as people, and let out that. And I also think that because this record had a different mental and emotional approach to it, we weren't afraid to say, you hurt me, or, if I can, go fuck yourself, essentially.
Sure.
So it was something that we're always positive people. We always try to keep a positive mindset, and we always will.
Right.
But sometimes you have to release a little bit of aggression to get to that positive place. And I think that this is a record that speaks volumes to a lot of people and ourselves, that we released that energy that we needed to release, and it resonates with those people, what allows us to be the positive people that we are, and that's why it connects so well. It's that release of energy. So when we play it live, we get to do that every single night. But it's the most proud that I've been in music since I've started.
Nice. To finish things up, I want to talk a little bit about the fans, because you touched on them a little bit ago, but you guys have such a special relationship with your fan base. You guys are so close to them, they're close to you guys, and they just cling to every song, it sounds like. We talked during the pandemic with the Panic record, Death of Me, that wasn't even a single that was released. You guys were playing it live before it was released, and fans seemed to know the lyrics to that song.
Oh yeah.
The fans are so just, From Ashes to New fans are special.
They're in tune.
Yeah.
They pay attention to what everything that we're doing is, and I think because we're also so transparent with our fans, no matter if you're a first time person that's coming out or you've been here every single time and you follow us around, we treat you like your family, and we respect everybody. Danny's favorite saying is that this isn't the music industry, this is the fan industry. And it's a true statement. Without the fans, anybody within the music industry couldn't do what they're doing, and we wouldn't be where we are without the fans.
Yep.
And we owe everything to the fans. So we try to give them full transparency and involve them with as much. And I think within that, they pay attention and they see what we're doing, and they know how hard we work on certain things, and they see how much we care, and it doesn't go unnoticed, and they support us, and we love them absolutely till the end of time for that. And it's so cool to see a fan base be so involved with everything that we're doing and support it, because it's a dream come true. Everybody in this position dreams to have that, and we're lucky enough to have the fans that we do, and they're so diehard for it.
Well,
we owe them everything.
I think especially coming out of the pandemic, even before it, with the records before, but this one especially, you guys aren't afraid to go there and go to those dark places and talk about mental health, which for some reason is still a tough subject to talk about, but you guys aren't afraid to just let it open and just cut yourselves out and just let it pour. Hate Me Too, Barely Breathing, those songs, the lyrics, when I listened to those for the first time, I'm like, holy shit, we went there. And I think that fans recognize when things are genuine and when they're coming from a real place. And I think that's a lot of what that is.
We write from past experiences. We don't write about anything that we don't know of, you know? So it's all things that we've either dealt with, have seen, you know, been around or whatever. And I think that, again, to tie in with the last thing we were talking about, like you're saying, we're not afraid to expose that. It translates because it's genuine, because it's a true thing, but also it's showcasing, like, you know, we have to open up about it a little bit. And I think rather than kind of hiding and be like, no, everything's cool, we've gotten to a point where even in our music, we're not afraid to say now, like, everything is fucked. No pun intended,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to also say, like, everything's fucked. But to know this is a release and this is how we can get better, because together we're stronger than individuals. So let's use this as a crutch and let out whatever it needs to be inside, and then let's get better from it.
That's awesome, man. I'm so looking forward to this show tonight. It's been on my radar since it got announced.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Stoked you're here.
I'm so ready. Let's throw down tonight.
Let's do it.
I love it, man.
Let's get
Thank you
rowdy.
so much.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.